So we have Santiago Ponzinibbio, number 14th ranked in the welterweight division, against Michel Pereira, number 19th ranked, which is interesting because it's like, what does the man have to do to get a ranking next to his name? Is the welterweight that stacked, or is Michel Pereira just not fighting the correct level of opposition? I mean, he got a win in his last fight against Andre Fialho in his UFC debut, which has aged incredibly well, given how Andre Fialho is just knocking everybody out in the UFC. Got a win against Nico Price, win against Chaos Williams, a win against Imadev, brother. Like, what do you have to do? The last fight that he lost was a fight that he won, and it was against Diego Sanchez when he kneed him in the head illegally when he shouldn't have. Either way, if that didn't happen, he'd be on a 5-fight win streak right now. But Ponzinibbio is a dude who we saw out of action for a long time due to injuries, and I think he had some infections going on and all that good stuff. But since he's come back, he's 1-1 in his return, right? So he got knocked out by Li Jingliang, first round knockout, took some time off, got a big win, comeback win against Miguel Baeza, and then a loss against Jeff Neal. AJ, brother, the question that I have for you is that Ponzinibbio, he's a little, just a tiny bit, he feels undersized in the division. Just feels a little short, a little, you know what I mean? But his tenacity kind of makes up for it. Michel Pereira, however, is a behemoth of the division. He's a monster in that division. Do you think that Santiago Ponzinibbio is going to be able to fight through the fire that is a Michel Pereira, given the size difference and the size stature?
I think so, especially given the pedigree that Santiago Ponzinibbio has and the style and the mentality he has. This dude will walk you down, man. He's always dangerous. He just needs in this fight to be a little bit more consistent than Pereira, which is, isn't too hard. Pereira's kind of all over the place. So if Santiago Ponzinibbio can be that consistently walking down, get on the inside head movement, do whatever he, on the inside, whether he wants to take him down or just beat him up a little bit and then bounce right back out and avoid the flashy striking. Ponzinibbio can get it done, man. It is possible. He's very, very gritty and a very powerful fighter in there. And if you're feeling off a little bit of a way and you're willing to be on the back foot, Ponzinibbio will take that lead position. So I could see these things working out well for him. It's just you got to avoid that crazy man, Pereira, and he's getting better and he's becoming less crazy in certain moments. He's an interesting one. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you right there, man. I think Ponzinibbio is going to have to be very careful on this one, very technically sound and consistent, right? You just stick to the game plan. But for Michel Pereira, he draws out the craziness in all of his fighters. I feel like he makes them very impatient, the way that he dances around, just pops the jab out, big right hand. For Michel Pereira, though, I wanted to ask you this, man. He's not finally, he's a favorite in this fight, minus 115 with a minus 105 comeback for Ponzinibbio. So he's a tiny favorite, but he's still a favorite. It feels like now it's like he's undeniable. For a long time, many of his fights, back to back to back, were like, I don't know, he's too flashy. He does all this nonsense. Like, I don't know if he's going to get the win. Starting off with the Chaos Williams fight, proved everybody wrong, Then Nico Price, proved everybody wrong again. And then Andre Fialho, proved everybody wrong again. Now it's like, do you have to bet on Michel Pereira just because the man just isn't losing? I mean, and these are point victories, brother. These are decision victories. Not like he's just knocking you out and just being like, we don't know. We know over the course of 3 rounds, he can get it done against just about anybody. But then again, Ponzinibbio, we already said this dude, his resume is a little bit different, man. His place in the welterweight division is a little bit different. This is the fight, AJ. If Michel Pereira wins, he is officially a bona fide top 15 fighter. Now, my question to you is, does he have to do it in definitive fashion? Does he need a finish to really solidify himself in this top 15? Or if he gets another decision win where he's dancing around you, does a backflip on you, kicks you in the head illegally on the low, but nobody says anything, you know what I mean? Is that going to be the same impact in terms of that? Or does he really need a finish to solidify here?
No, I think a consistent beat down. I don't mean to use this word again, but if Michel Pereira just has a performance where he's pointing you up, man, he's beating you up, he's staying flashy, staying slick, hurts you, and then goes for the flashy stuff. I still think he solidifies his win because what else does this guy need to do? He's on a 4-fight winning streak. Technically, should be a 5-fight winning streak. But he's almost undeniable at this point. It really just comes down to opposition.
So the interesting thing here is that you're not going to find too many people who have more experience than a Santiago Ponzinibbio, who has a career 34 fights, man. 29-5 is his record. Michel Pereira, brother, he is 28 years young. So he is 7 years younger than Santiago Ponzinibbio. However, he has all of 38 fights, brother. Like, he is way more experienced. And he's only 28, so he's not even in his prime yet. That's what's so scary about this dude. So it feels like upward trajectory for Michel Pereira, but for Ponzinibbio, it feels like he kind of already reached the pinnacle. And now he's not necessarily on a downslope, but he's just kind of on a plateau right now. So the pressure really has to be on Ponzinibbio, right?
Oh, 100%, man.
Yeah.
100%. Ponzinibbio is must be feeling the pressure, especially because for a long time Pereira was that mystical dark figure that nobody wanted to figure out. You know,
Yeah.
they now, but now with 5 fights and all the tape in the world on him, everybody's not that scared. But at one point, he was the one guy that you didn't really want. You know, he
Yeah.
was the oh man, the wolf. What's the dude just
Chimaev.
fought, man? Chimaev.
Yeah.
He was the Chimaev before Chimaev, if you will. He didn't have as much heat and as much like press to him, but still, he was that kind of fighter.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see that he's kind of come back in Dana White's good graces because when he did all that dance and stuff, and I think he lost that fight actually when he came out, and yeah, Dana White was pretty pissed. But now, like I said, he's feeling basically undeniable. So let's talk about it. Michel Pereira, obviously minus 115 for the money line, and I'm looking at the current odds right now. It is swelled in favor of Pereira, minus 125 for Pereira, plus 105 for Ponzinibbio. So the odds makers are really feeling Pereira here. But let's dive a little bit deeper, brother. Let's talk props. If Michel Pereira wins, decision is a good bet, obviously, right, for 3 rounds, because Ponzinibbio is a tough customer right there, man. He's only been knocked out 3 times. Those are the only times he's been finished. 3 times in his career, all knockouts. And the last one came against Li Jingliang, which was just a first round. Boom, done, right? But let's get a little more into it. For Santiago Ponzinibbio to win via decision, we're looking at plus 215, submission plus 1800, and TKO at plus 450. Now, for Michel Pereira, it looks like we have plus 185 for a decision and plus 300 for a TKO. Which one sounds more lucrative to you?
Probably that plus 185 for a decision.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little more likely to happen because Ponzinibbio, he's very durable. He's rugged. You know, he's hard to knock out. Sure, Li Jingliang did it 2 fights ago, but very rugged fighter nonetheless. Especially coming back, man. Yeah, after that Jeff Neal loss, he looked good. He did look good, even though he lost the fight. So I think that decision plus what'd you say, 125
Plus 185 for Michel Pereira.
one. Yeah, plus 185, I think a little more likely. I'm kind of still blown away. These guys, these props on both of these fights are like plus 1,800 for some of these ones. Some of the odds makers have very little confidence in finishing in some of these, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, that plus 1,800 is for submission for Ponzinibbio and for submission for Pereira plus 1,000. And if you look at it, both of these dudes combined have 15 submission victories. So it is kind of crazy. But then that goes to show these dudes aren't easily finished. I think that's why. Because when it comes down to it, combined, they have been finished 5 times combined between both of these fighters. So 2 tough customers, man, and the winner, either way, winner or loser, you're still both going to be in the top 15 at the end of the day. You have to be, man. Michel Pereira just can't be denied any longer, I think. So, are you rolling? You're rolling with Michel Pereira, yeah?
I'm rolling Michel Pereira, and I'm taking that decision. That plus 185, I like that.
Okay, sounds good. So I'll be taking the decision as well. As much as I would like to say a TKO for Michel Pereira, I just think Ponzinibbio is too good, too skilled, too durable, and he's going to bring the fight. And I think that's what's going to lead to a Pereira win, is he's going to be walking forward. And Michel Pereira, as much as he's a walk forward guy himself, he's also a counter striker. He's just an aggressive counter striker. Over and under AJ on backflips for Michel Pereira. How many backflips are we seeing?
I'm going over 3.
Oh, shit. All right, let's get it. We'll see. Michel Pereira is going to have to initiate some takedowns, see what happens.